It is time to fit the painted handlebars, which I got away with hanging upstairs in the spare bedroom last night off the curtain pole. There were some questions, but I think I got away with it. Anyway, the upshot is that being able to keep them inside meant that they dried really well overnight. Now I am aware that there's a difference between paint drying and paint curing. So whilst it is dry to the touch, it's not tacky, paint still remains quite soft, so I have to be quite careful with it. These caps have a dot on them, and I know that Andy did tell me in one of his videos which way up they went, but for the life of me, can I find that video? I've just had a quick trawl through all his videos and can't find it. So I'm going to take a punt and go with the dot goes at the top, and I know for a fact that if I guess at it like that, it will be wrong. So I don't know how much you can see on the camera there, but these are the new painted gloss black handlebars. They're not new, newly painted gloss black handlebars, and they look much better than the satin black that we did before. Once I've clamped this down, there's a good chance that the paint that's still curing will bond to the brackets. So if I move the bars at a later date and they're not central, you will probably see paint has been stripped off. It still looks like they're leaning back too far, but like I said, they can be adjusted at a later date. It's really just here today to hang the electrical components and the brake components on. Because this is freshly painted, and the paint will be soft, and obviously builds up a thickness to the surface that wasn't there before. There may be some drag on this. I put a small amount of grease on the inside of this brake lever mount to help it slip, but I still fear it might drag a little bit and scratch the paintwork up, so I'm going to be as cautious as I can. Talk amongst yourselves. Come on, you. Okay. Now I'm only going to go as far as. Now that's as far. Oh, good, we've loosened up. As we get close towards the end of the bar, it seems to have relaxed a bit. But again, I don't want to go too far because I don't want to scratch the paintwork downstream. The next part to go on the handlebar is the kill switch. Now I've made a repair to it, so I've put some heat shrink tubing up this end to replace insulation tape that had been put over it to cover a split up on the plastic. The switch itself is very tired. No amount of cleaning or polishing or silicone spray is going to hide the fact that this is a 40-year-old plastic part that's been left out in all weathers. I have cast my eye around for a replacement, and the options are cheap Chinese ones for about 30 quid, which I'm sure will work, or 40-year-old knackered ones that have been left out in the sun for years, which would be of no benefit really to me over what I've got here. So for the time being, I'm going to stick with this. I may, if it irritates me enough, order a replacement cheap Chinese one. Okay, so I'm not going to tighten those for the same reason I'm not tightening the handlebars, as I know that everything's got to move down a bit. Okay, I've also fitted a rubber boot to the brake lever, because the originals had those, and you can still buy them from Honda. Okay, so now at the point where I'm fitting the throttle actuator, what do you call it, twist grip I suppose, and this locates in a peg on the handlebars, and this kind of sets all the rest up to it. So once this is on, we're kind of at a point where we can start setting up the right hand side of the handlebar. It's sort of a repeat of the other end. And again, I've got to see if I can work this on without damaging the bars too much. You can see it's removed the paint on the tight pinch points, but again they're under grips, so that shouldn't be an issue. Now it's time for the high-low beam and the indicators, the turn signals. I am putting the old broken unit back on, although I do have a replacement that I sourced the other week. I'm going to put this on because I know it works and because I've already made the modifications to fit my current wiring loom. So as a temporary test for the electrical system, I'm going to be using the old one. It'll also give me a chance to go over and clean the new replacement. So as I say, this is a known entity, so we're going to use that one to start with. But I'm going to start with the headlight bowl. I'm going to see if we can match up all the numbers and see if we can get some form of all the connections together and see where we are there. I won't film this because it's going to be a long and tedious job. Just a quick view of the nightmare facing me at the moment. All that has to somehow marry up. I have numbered it, so it shouldn't be as bad as I thought, but there are a lot of connections in here. I mean, you've got these ones here coming from the left hand side, you've got the main spaghetti monster wire loom, and then you've got the right hand handlebar connections. In order for the wiring loom to be completely tested, I do need to fit the clocks with the ignition barrel in it. Okay, I've pulled the speedometer cable up through. It wants to disappear off back down. First of all, attach the speedo drive. So that's now in place, and then the speedometer drops down onto those rubber bushings. Just make sure everything fits before I put the lights into it. Right, so there are 3 bulbs that are for the illumination and 3 bulbs that are for the telltales. We're back at a position now where I've put the bulbs into their various recesses, and I now need to drop the speedometer back onto its mountings. What it is with nuts when they're upside down, it's trying to get my brain to orientate which way to go. I have to kind of visualise I'm stood underneath them. A little bit spash. Okay, so that's back in place. That's something. It's attractive, isn't it? So pretty much all the cables are married up, and by pretty much I mean there are still a couple. I'm just going to review my footage because there's no label on this one. I'm pretty sure that is supposed to join up somewhere up here. Yeah, this one here, which is a problem because I don't think it's going to reach. So I may have to make an extension for that, but that's a job for tomorrow. There are other ones like number 5 here. Should be a part of the multi-connector I built down here. Now I don't know if that's going to be a problem because the headlight, which I've mounted back to front and upside down hanging off its mount, when it's kind of in the up position, all that cabling is going to be brought up, so that may be okay. I don't envisage that necessarily being a problem. There are things like this. I don't know what this is. Again, I'm going to have to go and review my footage. For some reason it isn't labelled. And also, you know, just rummaging through there, I do find the odd connector here and there. It really is, despite my best efforts, a bloody bird's nest. But I've tried to keep things in order. I've tried to route things in logical sequences. to try and cause less stress on the cables, but it may end up being redone again depending on how things happen. But on the plus side though, we've got the indicators back on. They're not over torqued at the moment because they'll need a bit of repositioning. The handlebars are fitted. The clocks are back on with the ignition switch. We've got brake lever, throttle, kill switch, clutch lever, and whatever this doobry is. This is the indicators, that's it, back to front. So yeah, bit by bit it's kind of getting there.